Africa, beautiful Africa. I've come to learn that moving to Africa is a two-part journey. First, you have the physical part where there is planning, packing, and traveling. Some like to travel alone, while maybe others will come along with family. Yet you have those who just come as a pair. Even so, while coming to Africa and getting here, that is only the first part of the journey. The other journey is one that is met with self discovery, seeing yourself, knowing yourself, learning yourself for the very first time. Unfortunately, those that may come along with you may not stay with you to the end. You just might have to take this journey all by yourself.
Well, we're back. Excited to be back with you. We promised our audience that we will do a part 2 on your journey.
Yeah.
And want to be a little different today. I want you to really share your story, your truth
Okay.
about the events that led you to coming to Africa, to Kenya, and then what happened.
Okay, well, how I got here initially I was thinking about Ghana. My godfather, Professor James Small, he has a hotel there. They do tours there every year, right? And but for some reason, every time the tour came around, my money wasn't right, and it was always around the time school started, so I never could go, and I probably missed like 4 of them. And I was trying to get there and never would work out. So I knew that I would come to Africa. I just didn't know when, right? And wasn't sure how. Um, then I kind of put it to the side, like, well, don't even worry about it. I'm lifing, right? And so Kenya became the decision, or the final decision, was because someone that I was previously dating, he mentioned Kenya. He mentioned, and we were doing research. We're on YouTube and listening to other YouTubers and just getting ideas on what place would be best. And Kenya seemed like the best place because more Kenyans knew English, which will make the transition easier. And it made sense to me. It was like, okay, like, yeah, like I'm finally going to go. It's making sense. I'm with someone. We're together. We're making money. We're building. And I thought that was great because we talk about men and women coming together and building. And so I was like, okay, this will work. We're making it happen here in the States. Surely we can make it happen.
Right.
In another country, and it's not just another country, this is home, this is the motherland, we are the mothers, right? So it just all made sense. It was just all aligning together, and then being with someone who was with it, who was about it, like, yeah, we're going to Africa, you know what I mean? Because everybody's not in that mindset,
right?
People,
most especially men, they don't, they want to be like, how can I make money over there? You guys, did y'all have a plan, like how you were going to conduct business or anything like that together?
Well, yeah, because we started selling stuff, and like I said, we were selling books and just selling a bunch of stuff and just putting money to the side. And we said that we were looking at different things that we could possibly get into. Like we were talking about the daycare business. I thought that was a great business because I know about it. The daycare industry. We talked about a few other things. We figured we get here and figure that out, and we just live on the money that we had saved and put together in the account together, right?
Okay.
So Yeah, that was really kind of the plan. But it was almost, for me, personally, it felt more like a spiritual thing. Okay.
Mm.
It wasn't like, you know, it was like, trust your intuition, trust Allah, right? Trust God, universe, ancestors, spirit guides. I like to give credit to everybody. I don't want anybody to be left out, right? That's just how I feel. That's what I practice, right? I'm like, it feels like it was like a nudge.
Mhm.
It was like a calling.
Okay.
Just like before I came here, I was in Houston. I got called and pulled to Houston,
Mhm.
and I was feeling that same pull. I was feeling a pull, and then I had somebody with me who was feeling that same pull. Like, let's go, you know. So, but yeah, but it felt more like a spiritual thing. Wasn't really sure how it was going to go. Wasn't really sure about anything. Just trusting.
Just trusting the process.
Yeah, just trusting the process. And I think that's something too. I think that we should consider moving when you move out of the country, man. Because if you sit here and think about all the things that could possibly happen,
It'll never happen.
right? Or
never
when I get the
come.
money, or when I get the time, and some people don't even know you could just save a little, quick little income tax check and get
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying? But you keep saying when this happened, when this happened, it's gonna happen. That you I'd have still been in the States.
Yeah. And the first time we met you guys was at our all white affair. The very
Yeah.
last one we did.
Yeah, that was great.
And when I met you, y'all were on top of the world.
Yeah.
Y'all looked extremely happy. The energy was high. I remember seeing y'all out there dancing, and I was like, okay. But the person that introduced us, I can't remember who it was. I was trying to think about that earlier. They were like, yeah, they're having a hard time a little bit here in Kenya. I want y'all to meet them and embrace them. And I was like, okay. No, they said they just got here.
Yeah.
And they were having a hard time meeting other expats.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, no, we'll bring them in. We'll meet them.
Yeah.
So we did.
Yeah.
We met y'all and put you in the group, in the community, the Repast WhatsApp group. And what happened from then?
Well, I will say though, at the all white affair, they missing it, man. They missing it, because it was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience just getting here and just being embraced like that. And it was crazy because I had you like the first person I saw when I came in. I'm like, that's her, you know. Like, you don't even know you're a celebrity, right? You're a celebrity on YouTube. You Mr. Muhammad, right? You guys are the Wonder Twin powers activate, right? Y'all them, right? And it's funny because I didn't even know anything about you guys. He was the one that was watching the videos and pulled you guys up. So and I started watching. I was like, oh, I like them. I'm like, it's a good vibe. And then to meet you, and I just jumped on you like, oh my gosh, because I just felt like I knew you. I felt like immediately, like I know her. You know what I mean? And what happened? You know, it's really strange. What happened after that point? But to be honest, I mean, even before the all white affair, you know, we came here. We went through.
How long were y'all here before we met you?
Because we got here in August, like August the 8th.
And that event was in August too, though, right?
Yeah, I want to say maybe a couple of weeks later.
Okay.
And so initially, you know, the place we were staying at, it wasn't what we were accustomed to, and so I know sometimes that might cause a little I don't even know what's the word.
Friction.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. You know, and I couldn't get. I tried. You know, I've always been that understanding, patient woman, right? Like, okay, we both came here, kind of didn't know what we was coming to, so it's nobody's fault. Now we just got to work it out. We're here now, you know. Let's just embrace what's outside the home, you know. And but then, you know, shortly, like a couple of days after that, it just got really weird. It was like it caught me off guard. It's like I was with somebody who I didn't know anymore. It didn't take any time. I was feeling alone, and I wasn't even here that long. So I'm like, what's going on? I was feeling depressed, and I'm like, why am I feeling depressed? 'Cause I know what depression feels like, because I've dealt with depression, having panic attacks, and I told you, I only know from the last video that we did together that I tried to commit suicide when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
So I do know what that feels like, and I hadn't felt that in a while, and so I'm like, what's going on? You know, I couldn't really understand. It's just like I don't know what happened. It's like a switch flipped, and
Yeah, I remember because I wasn't hearing from you. We would post in the group that we're going to different activities,
yeah,
and then one day out of nowhere, you showed up. You was at
yeah,
the what was that?
the theater,
Yeah, the theater.
the sticky notes.
That was
Yeah,
a funny play. We've seen
yes,
plays but I remember looking at you and I said, "What's going on?" Because
yeah,
I seen it in your eyes that it
yeah,
was heaviness,
yeah,
like a level of sadness, and it was dark.
yeah, yeah.
So I was asking you, "Girl, what's going on?"
Yeah, you did, and I let it all out, and I was really glad that I went to the event. I was like, you gotta go, you gotta get out of here. Now, mind you, by that event, we had lived in three different places by that time, by the event time.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going through that, trying to figure out where we were gonna land.
Mm.
I had a bad experience at the both of the first two locations.
But that last one, as you was telling me, I swear it was a trap house.
Yeah, but but look, you know what the trap house look. But the first location was worse than that.
Was it?
Girl, what? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. And it's like, I mean, I'm not trying to be, you know, this grand woman, but I don't want to go back.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to move to Africa to go back or be
Right.
somewhere that I've never been before.
Right.
If I'm not used to a certain way of living,
Yeah.
I'm not. And I'm not saying, you know, penthouse. No, I'm not talking about that, but just clean, you know, living. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm used to. Why am I going backwards? You know what I'm saying? But by the time the ballet thing was around, like, if Mr. Muhammad was here, I'd have asked him, like, what's the name? Because he know what he told me how to pronounce it. Something
You know the whole.
yeah,
It
something
was produced by such and such.
Yes, and such.
1921.
You know how he do. He gonna give you all the theatrics and the theoretics of this build. He probably know when it was built and everything. Anyway, I digress. So, yeah, by that time, we lived in three different places. During that, in that particular time, like I said, a flip was switched. I felt like they had got possessed, like a spirit had jumped on them. I know you laugh every time I say that, but at the second location, this was it. I don't even know if I can say locations, but I swear a spirit had got on him because I'm like, I do not know this person.
But you know what? You know when especially men, we always say when they come to Atlanta, the men get turned out.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much opportunity. It's
Yeah.
too much women. It's
Yeah.
too much. Everything's available.
Yeah.
I'm kind of feeling like when men come to Kenya,
Yeah.
you look at the passport bros and all these other people. It's something about the Kenyan women.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but the men don't. They gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that's what happened.
Yeah, because I don't know either.
We don't. We just speculating, but
Yeah.
because nothing else makes sense. So at this point,
Mm-hmm.
you were left. I'm
Yes.
gonna say in a trap house. You were left abandoned.
Yeah. I can laugh now, but it wasn't funny then.
No, I seen the tears being fought back.
Yeah.
Then.
I was in a so okay, so after I felt like the possession was taking place because there were certain things were said like you know, if it wasn't for me, you'd be effed up out here. You know, like the ego
threatening
got
to
really,
abandon you.
yeah, the ego got really big. And just, you know, you want to be saved, you need to save yourself, you know, or something like that. Just these and I'm like, where's this coming from? I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the big headedness and this ego thing now. I'm like, because I'm saying, like, I know you, like, but they decided that. And then they were talking about, oh, you know, us getting separate places. I'm like, bruh, we in a whole nother country. I can say we were still in the States, and that was a discussion. Okay, but we're in a whole nother country, and you talking about getting separate places. What kind of money we got? What we gonna be able to afford? And he's like, well, he felt like, oh, well, I can pay for this place in your place too, or something like that. This whole I don't even get the what the thought process was, but I'm like, we ain't even got that kind of money to even be thinking about considering that. And my thing is, if I would have known that, I wouldn't have even come.
Right.
And yeah, so I was, and so yeah, I wouldn't have left Houston had I known, that if any signs of this would have happened, I wouldn't have come. I'm
Right.
not, it was a good guy. If I didn't feel good, he made tea for me. I'm just not this woman that's just out here just jumping around the world with somebody. There were qualities and certain things that were there,
Right.
certain consistencies that were there before,
Right.
coming here. So yeah, it got really weird, and then it got to the point. So then one day, just out the blue, they decided that I'm going to get an Airbnb, and I need a break or whatever. I need some space, whatever the words were, for 2 weeks. And then someone had come from our hometown that was here too. So I figured, oh, okay, maybe he probably just wanted to hang out while he was here. I don't know, it was just so strange, but just all of a sudden,
So wait a minute though. So
yeah,
he left you in an
yeah,
apartment.
yeah, and I was afraid.
Were you able to cook in the apartment? Did you have food? Did you have money? Did he leave you with anything to make sure he was going to be okay?
Right. So I'm on a mattress. Honestly, I'm on a mattress on the floor. Okay. No refrigerator.
And this is in the city. This is not like area where expats are.
Yeah, I don't think any expats were out that way.
No.
I don't think so. Yeah, so no refrigerator, no TV.
Was there Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I had Wi-Fi.
Oh my goodness.
I had Wi-Fi, but I only had my phone.
And you just left.
Yeah, well, it was like at midnight, because something's going on. I'm looking at behaviors. I'm like, what's going on? At midnight, he tell me, I had to ask, like, what's going on? Oh, I need a break or whatever. I'm just gonna be gone for 2 weeks. At midnight, I'm like, when do you leave? When? Oh, it's at 10 o'clock the next morning. That type of deal. It wasn't a discussion. And so I was like, and as far as money, we had all our money in one area, one account. And so, no, I wasn't left with any money. It was kind of like he controlled that. Lesson learned, right? He controlled that. It was like, well, if you need something or whatever, hit me up or something like that.
Wow. So how did you feel? And this is a man, because when we were introduced to you guys, he was calling you wife.
Right.
This is my wife.
Right.
I didn't know that y'all weren't married until later on.
Right.
Or this is my queen. So apparently, I guess you were in love with him. You figured y'all gonna come over there. You're gonna build together.
Yeah, because I wanted to meet. My thing coming over here was not about partying, right?
Right.
Enjoying some things, right? Going, maybe going to a club here every now and then. But for me, it was about coming together with like-minded people, building, really getting out into the community, helping the children, feeding the children, going to the schools. I was trying to get into the schools, meet teachers, promote my coloring book that I have for the children. I was this is mission based. I felt like this was a mission more for me. Partying later. That's not. Let's get established. Let's find out where we're gonna stay. Find out how we're gonna make our money. Get established. Get around. Do what we're gonna do, and then get out. Pop bottles. After that. You know what I'm saying? So
how did you feel,
girl,
when the switch happened and you're like, I just can't even imagine.
Yeah, I couldn't either. I felt abandoned. And then one night the power went out. And that was one of my fears. Like, damn, what if the power goes out and he's not here? He was not there. Power goes out. I'm afraid. I'm in a whole nother country by myself. People see us. The security guards, they know we're two Americans that's come from the US that are together in the apartments. But now we're not together. So you see me coming and going by myself. You see whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then one night, somebody started knocking on my door because I left my shoes outside. They had got mud on them. And someone's knocking on my door like, I see your shoes out here. Let me in. That's freaked me out so bad. And just constant knocking on the door,
Yeah.
And I was feeling like, I was like, see, somebody must probably know I'm here by myself.
And that's such a security breach.
It is. That's what I'm like, I'm like, apparently they didn't understand how serious that really was.
Yeah. And to not make sure, even if you wanted to break up, make sure that sister is straight.
Right.
You in a whole new foreign country.
Right.
So the good thing is, I remember you were saying you felt a calling, you felt a spiritual connection, so almost like a guidance.
Yeah.
So in that, you calling out, and I'm sure you prayed over it. You've asked for assistance. You asked for help.
Man.
So you calling out. Let's talk a little bit about how, when you made it in your mind that you weren't going to let this happen to you.
Yeah.
You fought back.
Yeah. So a few days had went by before I made this decision because I was embarrassed. And shame and embarrassment, that's what the enemy uses always to play in your mind, making you don't tell nobody because they're gonna talk about you. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You moved over here,
Right.
All these things are playing in my head. I'm suffering in silence, right? Which is what a lot of people do, and especially women, suffer in silence. We don't want to tell anybody what's going on. And I had done that before. I had been in that space, that suffering in silence. Again, another trick that the enemy uses to keep us feeling like, don't tell nobody or make you feel like you're alone. And so it took a few days for me to get to that space to where I was like, you know what? I'm out. I'm deuce. I gotta go. Because I felt totally disrespected. I felt and I felt like if I allow this, whenever they return, if I allow this behavior, it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna be getting really played in my face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then the crazy thing was just quickly, while they were out on their thing, there's a video someone posted, they jumping on chairs in the club. And I was like, yeah, we on two different timelines at this point. And I had to stand up for myself. I had to put the shame, the fear, the guilt aside. I'm crying for days and days and days, trying to figure out why am I going through this? Because I was a very good woman. Even this man went on a person's podcast, was talking about how great of a woman I was, and how I was so supportive, and this and that and the other, and helped him write his book, whatever. It was just great, And then even we were talking, it's like, yeah, you're a good woman, but that wasn't enough, right? But anyway, I always try to be accountable for my own actions, So I'm up trying to figure out, well, what did I do wrong, or what could I have done better? I'm always self-reflecting because I want to make sure I learn the lessons. I'm not going to do this ever again. You know what I mean? And I told God and Big Mama, everybody, I said, look, y'all, look.
You told Big Mama?
Yes, Big Mama. And Big Mama, that's like mama. Like you got God, right? That's Big Mama. She's like Mother Nature, whoever. I said, you know what? I said, I'm gone. I said, I'm gonna pack my bag. I didn't have no idea where I was going or nothing. I just know I was gonna pack my bag, and I was gonna stand outside and just wait until God sent somebody for me, because I was not staying in that place another night.
So, what did he send someone? Like, what happened?
Well, actually, I had to be the one to make the move. I had to show the universe, God, that I was ready for a change, that I was over it. Enough was enough. They say when you're tired, when you're sick and tired, that's when you make the change. If you ain't tired, apparently you ain't make no change, you're not tired yet, right? But I had to come up out of that, wanting somebody to come to me. I had to go to, right? And I called. I had to come out of that shame and fearful state and embarrassment, and I made a call to some people that really I didn't even really know like that. You know what I'm saying? So I had no idea if they were going to talk about me or be laughing at me or or dogging me. I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? But God put on my spirit, call these particular people. And
who the heck was it?
I don't know if they want me to say their name.
Yeah. Well, the reason being is, again, we do this for
Okay.
us. We want to have a community. We want to have a protection.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay, so I called you. I called you. And yeah, I remember calling you. And at this point, I didn't know what else to do. All I knew was I was packing my bags, and I called you and I was like,
I think we went to lunch or something. Right?
Yeah, we went to lunch and I had to just tell you everything that was going on. And I think I cried when we talked with Ben.
Yeah.
But like you said when you saw me prior to that, you could look in my eyes and say, and I'm trying to play it off like, yeah, I'm good. And you looking at me like, no, you're not good, and that's what I'm used to doing from a child. You know what I'm saying? So it was time out for that. A lot of things, habits, we call it creatures of habit. We still do these things. I'm thinking, oh, I've worked on that. I've done that work. But I think this was like, it was like God let me know, I will never leave you. No matter how it feels, how you feel, he was letting me know, I will never leave you or forsake you. And I didn't bring you all the way to Africa to have to leave you, to abandon you. Maybe that individual did, but I did not.
Right.
Right? I called you. You was like, all right, game plan.
Yeah.
And you kept confirming, like, are you sure?
Yeah, because I don't want to give you energy. You run
right,
back.
and all that
Go
time. Right.
Most women, I could tell that you were still kind of what's the word? Inconcise. Where's Muhammad?
We need him.
Is that the word? You were still in between, like,
yeah.
But he might come back and I'm gonna do this to him, but you were still going back and forth with that. So before I called in the reinforcement,
you had reinforcement.
The reinforcement.
Whoa.
We needed to make sure that that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
And not just that's what you wanted, that when we do this, you're going to follow through.
Yeah.
And how did that work out for you?
It worked out amazing, actually. And there wasn't any drama, but it felt good, though, that I had support. That I had somebody that had my back, that I got past the judgment part, people judging me. And I found out y'all didn't care nothing about that, nor did the reinforcement. They just wanted me to be safe. They were concerned about my safety. They knew that I was not safe. They saw, have you eaten? You were concerned about have I eaten? Am I safe? That was the most important thing. I didn't feel judged. But mind you, I do want to say that I wasn't one of those women that just left, which some women do. They just leave. They don't care. I communicated to him. We talked that I was exiting. Yeah, there were some items there. I didn't want to leave the items unprotected and unlocked and unsafe.
Yeah, I wanted you to just leave.
I know. And I'm like,
I was like, let him come home and see you gone.
But it wasn't
like he was gone
anyway, to leave from. But like I had the laptop and there were some valuables. He's working on a book and all that. I always even considering
still
that.
Worried about making sure he was straight.
Making sure he was, probably making sure he was more straight than I was. Which I think that's just that nurturer, right? And sometimes you can over nurture. You can be over understandings at your own demise when you're dealing with someone who doesn't have the mental capacity to understand that.
Right.
And to accept that. But yeah, the guards came in, the troops came in, and swooped me right on up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they so so with that, it was more a community effort.
Absolutely.
We did what we could on this side. We wanted to make sure you were straight on this side. But they also came together and made sure that you had a landing spot, somewhere where you can get your head together and figure out what you need to do without stressing.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't realize that we need our community.
Absolutely.
Even in the process of just trying to figure it out, people come to like, I want to do this by myself. I don't want to meet other expats. I didn't come over there for expats and or meet other Americans or whatever. But just like any nationality, any other community, when it hits the fan, we're going to be the ones that support our people.
Right.
So being able to rely on that in the foreign country on a whole nother continent,
a whole nother.
and to find people that's from Atlanta and all these other areas that you lived in, and Texas, and places that you can relate to. How was that experience for you?
It was life-saving. I felt so at home. And I'm thinking, what if I would have had that mindset? I don't want to meet any other diasporans, and not knowing that I was going to be in a situation. What would I have done? Who would I have called? And I don't even know. I wouldn't have had anybody to call or anything. I would have been butt out. You know what I mean? And I've seen how and I know how women, they deal with the situation. I've seen women have come here with husbands or boyfriends, and the husband wound up staying, and they wind up going back to the States.
We see that a lot.
Yeah, you see that probably more often. The man stayed. I'm like, no, because I know I'm here for a purpose. I'm not going nowhere. I'm here. But it was just to know that when you're with your people, your repats, people from the States, they can relate to you. They know your struggles, your trials, their tribulations. We've all been through something, maybe not the exact same thing, but we've all dealt with trauma and wounding. So you already know, or maybe a situation that I'm in, you may have seen that before, and it's like, oh no, I'm not watching this again, so we're all relatable. And we understand that we are here for each other. We have to. We all we got, really.
Yeah.
So I'm just so thankful that this beautiful family did give me a place to land. And I was able, they wasn't bothering me, they gave me my space. They gave me time to figure some things out. Cause that was very traumatic.
Yeah.
To come to a whole other country and not sure what's going to happen, where I'm going, what I'm going to do. When I called you, I didn't have no money. I had $0. I had no money.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of figuring out to do.
Yeah.
And so having that community, having that space to get it together, get my mind right, and figure out, like, Sharifa, what's going on? Where you at, girl?
Right.
I had these conversations that I had to have with myself. Where you at? Where you at? Say, get up, wake up. What's going on? You good, But I had to feel that safety again.
Right.
Because I felt I wasn't safe anymore. I felt abandoned. I wasn't feeling safe until I called you. And like I said, that beautiful family that took me in, just like I was their own little cub, made sure I was straight, kind of got me on my feet. Because I didn't have any money. I didn't have a dime to buy any food or anything.
Right. And that's one of the things I love about what we're doing, about that family, about having this community that we're trying to work and build.
Yes.
It hurts me because I know what the bigger picture is. So it hurts me when I hear certain little crazy things that happens or that's going on out there that's trying to forces trying to fight against what we're doing.
Yeah.
No, we're literally trying to establish a community.
Yeah.
Within the country.
Right.
And we do. You do volunteer work. You've worked with the youth, and maybe just talk about how you've been building yourself back up. What's going on with Sharifa now?
Right. So since then, I got time to get myself together, and just things just start working out for me. I had this laptop. I couldn't work on it for over a year. And then I got in that space of serenity, solitude, being by myself, and I figured out how to get my computer to start working again. It's a MacBook, right? I couldn't do nothing on it. Then all of a sudden, I'm like, I was so determined. I was in a space of determination. It was almost like I needed this.
You were in survival.
Yes, I'm like, I got to figure this out, and I have to figure this out now. And so I'm looking, YouTube videos, figuring out, boom, computer's working now. Now, guess what? Now I can work. I found me an online job. I started doing that. Started saving my money. And things they was happening quickly,
right.
And then it was like, I'm ready to find me an apartment. I'm ready to get my own space. And that's when I call ARS, right? ARS to the rescue. Right. She's like, what's your budget? I got a small budget because I didn't plan to be here by myself, doing this by myself. So I had to start all over. I started from ground zero in a whole I started from ground zero. I'm sorry, in a whole nother country.
Right.
Zero. I had zero.
And that's a scary thing. I mean, we've been there mentally feeling like, oh my God, I'm gonna be homeless in Africa.
Right.
Or
Right.
what can we do? Like, I don't have any money. Like,
Yeah.
or you know how to make money at home. That's
Right.
easy.
Right.
But you come to a whole nother country where everything is different.
Everything.
I know that's a fear factor.
Yeah, I'm scared.
And I didn't want you to have that fear factor.
Right.
I've had it before.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it many times.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy being on the continent.
Yeah.
It's not. But when you make it happen,
yeah,
it's rewarding.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
you working now.
I'm working.
You doing podcasts out here.
Yeah, I started my podcast again. I'm actually like a regular. It's a lovepreneurship podcast. Dr. Michael Afwani. Sorry.
Okay. Say it again so people can look it up.
It's Dr. Michael Afwani. It's called the Lovepreneurship. And he has a running podcast. So I've been on there like every week. I'm doing that. Just talking about living here and talking about mental health, because that's my thing. I'm a mental health advocate, coach. That's my thing. That's dear to my heart.
Okay.
And so I've been doing that. And just like you said, I've been volunteering at the schools. I've been feeding the children. Just doing all those things that I initially wanted to do. That was the whole purpose. Is coming here and just contributing to the community. But yeah, and my apartment is beautiful. My view, oh my gosh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes. You talking about moving up to the east side? Right. I'm in Jefferson for real. You know what I'm saying? Finally got a piece of the pie.
She do have a beautiful view though. I go over her house and I'm like, man, that's really pretty over there.
Yes.
Because her view's better than our view. So,
yeah.
So, you're in a good mental space.
Yes.
Your eyes are happy. You're glowing. Yeah. We getting out. We're doing stuff.
Yes.
With fellow expats. I mean, we're pretty much very active.
Yeah. I want to say like once a week now.
Right.
You're doing something.
Very active. Like,
for sure.
We're doing a thing. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. I know that family is proud of you. They've told me that before. I don't know if they told you, but they were proud of you that you were able to just take what they were trying to offer you, and you've always been very humble and always easily to pour into.
Yes.
So the community is proud of you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
And we got to understand that even though that was that situation, we're grateful that was the situation that brought you here. Yeah. Because that might be a period on that, but now you're flourishing. You got a whole new chapter. Yes. Your life is going a totally different direction.
It is. It is.
And we're grateful for that.
Yes. And I'm totally grateful to have you all in my life. And I love this community, and I will fight, for this community, because I know y'all fought for me and didn't even know me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Didn't even know me, and you took me right on in, just like I was a sister.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
I think that was a beautiful conversation before we get emotional.
Right. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to the future. And also what I do want to say about this community is like everybody has their thing that they bring to the table. Like you do this, I do this, you do, we all have our things that we do. We come together and make magic. Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to the magic. And I want to say congratulations, sis. Y'all, you doing it. I see y'all out there, making moves. Making moves, and it's gonna happen. Yeah. I like that, and the thing about it is I know the moves, and I love it because the moves that you make is not just for yourself. That's what I love. It's not just about you. It's about the community, the totality of it all. Yeah, it's not a selfish thing. So, yeah,
thank you.
Yes.
Well, thank you for agreeing to have this conversation. I know it's been a long time coming, but I know it's also a healing process. Yeah. To just be able to get it out. Yeah. I know people ask you all the time, where's this person, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Just get it all out, and now we can move on. Yes. We can move on. Yes. Yes. So, congratulations to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
So thank you guys for watching another one of a residential tourist. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Why y'all don't be sharing? Help us, please. Let's build these numbers up. But also remember, subscribe to ARS, Dealers Relocation Services. We are on YouTube. So a lot of you are asking, how can I see this and that, and what properties are y'all working on? Subscribe to that channel as well, and you'll be able to see everything that we're doing on that side of the tracks. And also,
Yes, and I do want to say they gonna, whatever budget you have, they can work with you. Whatever budget, from the small 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, right? And I love that you do it all. Whatever you want to, whatever you need. I do want to say that first. And so, yeah, you can find me. I'm on YouTube as well. My YouTube channel is Ms. BJ Martin. That's MSBJ Martin. That's my YouTube channel. My Instagram is the Empress underscore Sharifa. The Empress underscore Sharifa. That's my Instagram channel. And yeah, I think that's it.
okay.
All right. Well, oh, before I go, what I'd like to say is remember, just like the sun, you are necessary. I love y'all.